Hi, it's Jordan Guard here from the Women's Sports Alliance. I'm here today with Tess Howard, Team GB and England hockey player, to discuss everything from injury heartbreak to missing out on the Olympics, dissertation topics and playing with her heroes. Welcome, Tess.
Thank you, Jordan. Lovely to be here.
For anyone that doesn't know you and for the people that do know you, who are you?
My name is Tess Howard. I'm a Great Britain and England field hockey player. I'm 22 years old. I study at Durham University and I'm an optimist, really. That's who I am. Work hard, believe in potential, and I flip and love hockey.
Great start, powerful. So, Tess Howard, Team GB and England hockey player, known as one of the most exciting young talents in world hockey, 37 senior caps and 7 goals. What is hockey to you?
It's funny when you say that because hockey has always been my outlet, and I could say it makes me feel creative, it's an expression of myself, but really what hockey is that it makes me feel alive. It's where I go to feel whole. I just go to the hockey pitch and play. It's where I feel belonging, it's community, it's passion, it's at the heart of who I am is hockey.
So I'm going to take you back to your life before hockey. So if you can think back to when you were younger, who was Tess Howard then?
Tess was didn't really know what she was doing. I think she was running around playing rugby, following my older brother, studious in the classroom, just wanted to learn, very curious person. But I didn't really know where I fit at school. Felt myself being quite awkward, and then stood on a hockey pitch, held a stick, and suddenly everything just sort of clicked. And it really was sort of the making of me, because it gave me a sense of leadership and confidence that I had never felt before, and that translated into the other aspects of my life. Before hockey or without hockey, I feel a sense of emptiness because it gives me that sense of aliveness. I was really into the outdoors. I still am, and used to go and did scouts at school, and that was probably the only other place that I felt myself. And then when hockey took over, it was sort of, I just knew it was the thing for me.
So when you first found hockey, you touched on it a little bit there, but how did your life change? What changed for you?
So early on in my life, I think I felt a little bit lost, and hockey gave me a real sense of direction. I remember being at one of my county hockey trials and just seeing that there was a pathway to England under-16, and I thought, okay, that looks like a really great thing to be able to do. If I'm honest, all I wanted was the England jacket, but I wanted to see if I could get to England under-16. And I had a trial when I was 15 and I didn't get in, and I went back and I thought, no, this is actually something that I really, really want. And I worked hard that year and then got into the 16s, and it was brilliant playing against Holland. You know, massive loss the first game, 9-0, but I just really didn't care. I was just so elated to be playing for my country, and what it means to play for your country, your nation, and to be proud of who we are. That really sold it to me. Under 18s, under 21s, and then into the seniors within 3 years is something that I wouldn't have dreamt of, because I was just playing for the fun of it. I was playing for passion. And that's really what drove me the whole way. I never thought about trials at all I never thought about being a senior player. And then it just sort of fell into place.
Amazing. So your first England senior trial, talk me through that and how you got there.
Yeah, this is a fun story because in 2018, London hosted the World Cup, and it was like the thing to be at for me. I was 19 at the time, fresh 1 year out of university, but still first there, trying to get a train ticket back down to London, trying to find World Cup tickets. And I sat in the stadium when England played against Holland in the quarterfinal and lost, and for some reason just tears came down my face, and I looked around and I was like, this is what I want to do. Something changed inside of me. It was a split second, and I knew all I wanted to do was try and play my part in a senior team. And be a part of the event that is the World Cup. And something deep down inside me said, I think I could do it. I didn't know when, so I set my sights for 2024 Paris or the 2022 World Cup, which is now next year. But it was 3 months after watching my teammates play at the World Cup that I had my first senior trial. I walked in this very gym and I felt so overwhelmed that I thought I need to go and shake hands with Holly, the captain. So I went over, handshake. I was like, otherwise I'm not going to be able to focus the rest of this training session. But we were doing like drop passes and we were being so creative, and I just felt something inside me was like, actually, this is where I belong. And it's where I still belong. And so my trials was sort of a whirlwind 2 weeks, and then they asked me to go to the tournament in China. I thought, right, okay, first tournament in China, fantastic, which was mad. But before I knew it, these were my teammates, and I had to fully jump in. So I split my year at Durham. I thought I care deeply about my academics, but I will put that on pause for a second whilst I focus on my true passion and see if I can do something with hockey, because I knew if I was going to jump in, I had to go fully in, wholeheartedly jump in, make those connections and build an identity within GB hockey. And over the last 3 years, that's kind of where I've put all my energy, and I feel very proud to be a GB hockey player.
So how was that? So you went from watching your heroes or your role models at the World Cup to then walking in a room with them actually being your teammates. What was that like?
I still love it. It gives me a huge sense of inspiration. They are the people who inspired me to keep striving for what Great Britain hockey could be. Watching the players who redefined what goal scoring meant, players who were aggressive and outgoing on the pitch and just played with their heart on their sleeve. Those were the characters that I really related to as a youngster. I never thought that I would be good enough to be playing with them, but as soon as I stepped on that pitch, I realised the thing that we all have in common is passion to play and a desire to win. And as soon as you have that, it doesn't matter what age you are. So some of my closest friends are now, and they're like 10 years older than me, but you have that shared interest and sort of, I don't know, it's something inside you that is just very similar, and it's just a privilege to be alongside them now.
That is so powerful. What's been your most defining moment as a hockey player?
My most defining moment as a hockey player, probably the Olympic qualifiers in 2019. We had 6 weeks from when the Europeans finished to playing at the qualifiers, and I had just broken my hand in the semi-final of that tournament, so I couldn't play in the bronze medal match. And we weren't a team ready to go to the Olympics or to even qualify for the Olympics yet. And I was battling a broken hand, and so I went straight into surgery, titanium plate put in, and I had this clarity that the only thing I wanted to do was get back into the best shape I could for my teammates so that I could help us qualify for the Olympics. Because if you don't qualify, you just don't go. And it was that sense of all or nothing that really struck me. And then we played in the qualifiers, played against Chile. We had 2 games, nail-bitingly close. But I remember scoring in the second game and feeling like I was helping the team. And it was that moment, I think, really changed it to me, like I can contribute to this team's success. And and my teammates. And it was that sense that really that was probably one of my most memorable moments, because I knew that I was contributing to the GB legacy, and that's so important to me.
So we'll get a little bit deeper now. So at your first senior World Cup, who was Tess Howard?
So at my first senior tournament, I was 19. Again, I was probably naive with idealism. You know, I was excited, I was fearless, but I was also absolutely terrified. And I was stepping onto the pitch, and my mum fortunately was there out in China, and she was taking photos of me with pretty much all of my favourite players. But I was going toe-to-toe with them, and I felt this incredible sense of confidence that I had nothing to lose, all to gain. And yeah, I mean, I was very, very young now that thinking about it. But I just relished every part of it. I wanted to learn. I look back at the video now, I still have all of it, and going in and but just being fearless. I scored in my third game out in that tournament, and I don't even know how I did it, but I sort of like was falling and then just sort of slid the ball in. And I was playing as one of the back players at the time, so I was like, what was I even doing in the D? But I was just kind of going on instinct. And that's still the kind of player that I am now, just play on instinct.
So winding on then, we'll touch on your injury in a minute, but you're out through injury now, going through rehab. Who is Tess Howard right now?
Right now, going through rehab, Tess Howard is dedicated to getting back on that hockey pitch. It is hard, but the only thing I want to do is go back and play with my teammates, and it's an overwhelming sense of motivation. And yes, it sort of ebbs and flows with, do you want to do a session, do you not? But if you don't, then you don't get to play hockey again, and it's quite as simple as that. So I'm dealing with a lot at the moment, emotionally, but I am very focused on the thing that I need to do, which is get back and play. And the thing is, when you're rehabbing, you realise who you're playing for. And yes, I mean, it's quite funny, the day that I did my injury, I wrote on my whiteboard, today just play for my teammates. That was all I was about, really. And now I realise what it gives to me is what I need to get back in my life, which is that sense of freedom. And so at the moment, you know, am I fully whole? No. And that's okay. I can try and find different things to supplement what hockey gives me, but in reality, nothing can give me that. And so the motivation to get back is to be fitter, stronger, faster than I've ever been, but also to have that sense of self back.
So talk us through the moment that you realised that you were badly injured.
The moment I found out I was really badly injured was on a Tuesday, 13th of April, and I was lying in the MRI, and my knee was hurting badly, and I thought, maybe I need a plan B here. So several hours before, I was just playing 5v5 training session out on the pitch at Bisham, having a great time, and then I just accelerated left to right, and I felt something go in my knee, and I just hit the deck. I was screaming. My teammates had their hands over their mouths. People knew what was going on. I had no idea. I got up, thought I was fine. The physios were just like, let's just take you for a scan. I thought, there's no way that I would have a bad injury. That's just not possible. The Olympics is 3 months away, 100 days, in fact, 100 days away. Surely I'll be fine. But then I got that call in that evening, and they said that you'd ruptured I had ruptured my ACL, and it would be 12 months before I play hockey again. And I've never had a breakdown like that ever in my life. I just lay on the kitchen floor crying, but nothing was coming out. I mean, just thinking about it now, I just know I could just still feel the pain. To think that you're missing out on the Olympics after working for it for so long, and you somehow feel like it's the end of the world, and it did feel like that. The next 3 days were complete euphoria. Had no idea what was going on. I felt like I was in a bubble or in a parallel universe going through, somehow seeing that Tess Howard was no longer going to the Olympics, these press releases going out, getting flooded with messages, and I was like, but I'm fine. I mean, I wasn't fine. A week later, I had surgery, and then I was lying horizontally for about 2 weeks trying to recover from the initial surgery, and I just felt so broken. But grief comes and goes in different ways, and I went through a very good period supporting all my teammates through the summer, and then when they got back from the Olympics, I just, felt like another wave of grief had hit me. And now I realise that it's not something that you just get over by being able to jump again or something, but it's a long process. But it's definitely making me who I want to be.
What was it like watching the Olympics?
Watching the Olympics was hard, but amazing at the same time, because I could see my teammates living out the dream. I was incredibly proud to see us pick up a bronze medal, and especially in a game like that right at the end. And you know, the time difference meant that we were getting up at 1 a.m. to watch the game. You had rehab gym at like 9 a.m. So it was sort of like working out how best to balance all of this. But I knew I wanted to watch every game because I care so much for my teammates, and our GB legacy was building, and it was incredible. I tell you what it was like. It was like watching a series, a really good series, but only one episode came out like every few days. So I sort of knew that there was things were happening. I wasn't a part of it at all. I was just waiting to see what the episode was, and we just kept winning, and it was fantastic. And then we won a bronze medal, and what it's done for hockey is fantastic. That's our third Olympic medal, and it just really inspires us to go and get gold next time. So it was mixed emotions, but incredibly motivating.
I think that says a lot about you as well. I remember texting you when I found out that you were injured, and I said, are you going to watch the games? Thinking that maybe you were too traumatised and you couldn't watch it. And you said, absolutely, I can't wait to cheer my teammates on. I'm so proud of them. It's just unreal mentality, I think. So how do you feel about your injury now, months down the line? Has your mentality changed?
Yeah, so I'm 5 months into my rehab, and I feel like it's doable now. Right at the beginning, my mentality was actually pretty strong. The first 2-3 months, you're just building back up strength. You're trying to get your hamstring to work again. You're trying to bend your knee. These very simple things. You're trying to walk again. You know, you think as a hockey player you would be able to walk whenever, but if you've had major surgery, then you have to relearn everything, how to twitch your foot. And so it was very humbling, learning all of that all over again. And then you go through a period where it's just repetitive hamstring bridges. That's literally 2 months of that. But now I'm 5 months down the line, and I'm starting to jump again, and I'm starting to run, and I can see myself being a hockey player again, and that's a huge switch in my head, because now I can play on the pitch, which is what fuels me. I can do my little sessions. I can hit as many balls as I like. And so now I feel about my rehab is it's an opportunity to be better and to make this rehab meaningful rather than it missing out. Maybe I'm actually gaining a whole lot that I wouldn't have had I had the summer. So I feel very positive about it now. Obviously there's a lot still to overcome emotionally, but I can see the end game, which is the Commonwealth Games, and I'm flipping going for it, because I truly believe that I will be flying by then.
When you come back from injury then, so 5 months later or 7 months later, however long you've got left, who do you want Tess Howard to be?
Such a great question. In 7 months' time, when this rehab is behind me, Tess Howard will be fitter, faster, stronger, but also mentally stronger. I know how much I've already learned over the last 5 months, and I know what it takes to be at my best. And I'm not there right now, and I'm not going to be there in a month, 2 months, but I know that I have the time to put in the effort and the diligence to be the hockey player that I want to come back. All the little extra sessions that I do are not rehab. That's for me. And I think that's what's going to give me my edge when I come back, because I will be itching to get on that pitch. And the energy that I've always felt on the hockey pitch has been like this, playing for the first time. It's so exciting, and I will play again for the first time. And I just can't wait for that moment, because I know that the Tess Howard that steps out onto that pitch will be smarter and stronger and ready to put the ball in the back of the net.
Well, I can't wait to watch you play when you're back, that's for sure. What advice would you give to any young or older athlete that's going through an injury like you're going through right now?
My advice to anyone going through injury is let yourself feel how you feel. It's a hard process, and initially you just need to get to grips with what you're going through, but don't let it affect your rehab, because the thing that will make you feel better is progress. Even if it's small wins, being able to stand on your leg for the first time, being able to jump. These are small wins, but they are huge along the journey. I'd also say that you just need to believe that you will be back, and whatever it is you're aiming for, keep that in mind, the forefront of your mind the whole way through the process. When I come here and I train, I visualize playing hockey in the gym. It sounds a bit ridiculous, but that's what gets me through. When I'm on a bike session and it's the hardest part right at the end, I'll picture in my mind that dive to score, or that tackle, or running back. That's why I'm doing it, and that helps me through it. So whatever you're going through, picture yourself back where you want to be, or rather than saying back, I'd say forward to where you want to be, and it will help you keep focused. And no matter what you're feeling, that constant rehab will allow you to be where you want to be.
And breathe. So, Dissertation got a lot of media attention. Talk to us about that and what kind of drove the title and what you wrote about.
So, what drove my dissertation was a desire to understand what was going on in schools and in sport around clothing. It fascinates me how you have identifiers of gender in clothing, because for me, I think it's just something that you just sort of dress your body with, and it's a sense of identity. But I studied specifically school sport uniform, and if it was having an impact on participation in sport, which is what I'm very passionate about, is getting as many girls into sport as they can and feeling comfortable. And for me, sport has always been a place of safety, and it worried me that it seemed that we weren't putting enough attention on the comfort of girls in sport rather than making them a problem. I did a deep dive into experiences of school sport uniform, and I found that it is the most underrated thing causing girls to drop out in sport. And I was sitting on this and I was thinking, crikey, why is no one talking about this? So I felt I needed to get the message out there that we need to allow girls to wear, and boys, wear whatever they want to play sport, because it's the sport that matters, not what they're wearing. And that is what I wanted to communicate. And hopefully through raising awareness, we can just have better conversations about what we're making our girls present as, you know, and just let them be free on the hockey pitch or on the football pitch or wherever they are. Just let them be who they want to be.